Hey, Sarah. How are you doing today?
Well, today's an interesting day.
It is, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
just, yeah, it's been a weird week.
very weird week.
Yeah, let's see how weird this conversation will get.
What are we talking about today?
I wanted to ask you this question that I was thinking about yesterday. I was wondering, do you feel like anything in your life has ever been fated? Like things that happened just seem so beautifully orchestrated?
Like a
Like,
synchronicity kind of.
yeah, like Finn walking into the background and then getting into the picture just never mind. I brought attention to him.
Well, I'm
Oh,
not sure.
buddy.
I'm not sure what's happening with him right now, but hello. Are you
Hi,
want
Mom.
you want to be a movie star?
So, yeah, do you feel like anything in your life has just that you would describe as,
Divine intervention or
yeah, or however, yeah, however you want to describe
synchronicity or
it?
whatever? Yeah. I mean, I feel that a lot and like a lot.
Is there a good example, like a dramatic one that you would give?
Well, do you remember that story I told about how I discovered shamanism and that felt to me very
Back in art school, you mean?
yeah, like I I'm a person who is very aware of when I'm very aware of patterns. I'm very aware of things that feel like, huh, what's that? So as a result, in my life, I'm aware of those things that give me a sensation where I think, oh, pay attention to this. So I feel like the universe is very interactive. Consciousness is very interactive. There's always this relationship going on where I'm being shown things and where I feel things more strongly and
So something that gets your attention in a big way,
in a big way. Yeah.
as opposed to grocery shopping and seeing something on the shelf that's like, oh, that looks really good. I'm going to try that. Not that kind
No,
of attention,
not that
but
kind of
something
attention.
bigger. That was like
Yeah.
the lamest example ever, but there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. But no, that you're right. No, no to that. And yes to just that feeling when something comes in and you think, oh, that's important to pay attention to, or the question. So you, in all fairness, you asked me this question yesterday. Did I ever think about this? And when you asked it to me, and then we stopped texting, and I started thinking about it, and I thought, I don't know, I don't think about it that much. And I started to mull on it as the day went on. And you told me that you got this insight that we should talk about this when you were in the shower. And then I got in the bath last night and I started thinking about this, and like there was so much mulling that was going on, and I thought maybe it's got to do with water. No, I'm joking. But I part of me thinks life is completely random, and part of me thinks life is completely magical. And I do believe in both of those things having equal power. And it's really what I pay attention to, or that gives it the magic. And that there's just all this. Am I making any sense whatsoever?
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
Okay. There's all this random stuff that is happening around us, and we pay attention to certain things. And very often, those certain things are the synchronicities or the important things oh, I should pay attention to this right now, or this is interesting how this worked. But there's also so both. There is random and there is divine
Okay.
intervention,
Yeah. Yeah.
in my
I'm
opinion.
just curious about all of this. I think it's kind of fun to think about. So when you notice something out of the ordinary that seems more under the magical
Yeah,
heading,
yeah.
is that sort of a random noticing or is it an intentional noticing?
It's random. It's I feel like it's my intuitive attention. Some intuition
So it's
kicks
a
in.
deeper
The deeper, yeah,
attention.
yeah, the deeper attention. And there's certain physical things that happen to me when I'm supposed to, maybe this is supposed to, but when I'm about to pay attention, there's like a feeling I get with it, like, oh, that's something. Pay attention to that,
Okay, yeah.
Or there's a message that comes from somewhere.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask. Where do you think this is coming from? Or,
I think it's coming from the big consciousness.
yeah. So why would the big consciousness give a shit?
Well, I don't even know if it does give a shit. Maybe it's just giving all these things all the time, and it is random, and maybe it's what we pay attention to. Because often when you get like a synchronicity of some kind, it's at a time when you're struggling with something or something important is happening, or like, oh, I fell in love with this person and there was a random and synchronicity.
Mm.
Or somebody died and I knew before the event happened, or they seem to be big things but I think in my world it's not only big things. It's like there's a lot of small things too, or it's just these like for example, I have a mantra that I use when I'm feeling kind of not great. And I'll just move out of that not great place and I'll say, I invite the universe to surprise me in joyful ways.
I like that.
And the second you do it, it all starts to change. It immediately changes. It's like the surprises are there. It's me who's not paying attention to them. And by saying the mantra, I'm opening my eyes to the surprises.
The magic that's already there.
Magic that's already there. So it's random already there, but it's also magic that's already there.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, no, that's it's so interesting. And it's so interesting to hear your perspectives too. I mean, I have thought about this some over the years because of experiences I've had that make me wonder, is there something bigger going on?
Yeah. So what do you think?
I think there's something bigger going on.
But not randomness too?
Well, no, I wonder too about what you're saying is if the seeming randomness is just a lack of attention
Right.
and that maybe things aren't as random as maybe they appear to be. I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, I haven't thought about that part as much. I think more about the big hits, the big moments
Yeah.
where like something
Yeah.
really gets your attention
Yeah.
and and can change the course of your life on occasions, like the big ones, the big instances.
Yeah.
I think my biggest example would be meeting my favorite husband.
You make it sound as though you've had 20 husbands.
Yeah, there's
We
so
have
many.
to.
There's so many. But it was one of those random experiences, seemingly random experiences. I was studying martial arts, living in Phoenix. I had left the first marriage. There's not 20, there was only one. And was living on my own, studying martial arts. And there was going to be a big festival in Denver where all the different schools from around the region were going to be coming together to learn some more material and to gather with the grandmaster. This was Shaolin Kung Fu. So a bunch of us from the Phoenix school rented a van and we drove out to Denver. And that first evening after we arrived, we dropped our teacher off at this big park in Denver. It was beautiful. And got to remember, I was in Phoenix, flat, brown, dry, except for the mountains in the distance. And the grass people grew. That was the only green that didn't belong there. And so we get to the park and we get out of the van just to walk around and stretch our legs. But our teacher was testing from second to third degree black belt. And we weren't allowed to stay because it's top secret stuff. And I'm standing there talking with some of my buddies, hanging out, just watching. And there's this guy across the way in an all black gi with a long ponytail, his back to me. And my eye just went over to his ponytail. And he turned around and everything fucking slowed down. Everything slowed down. And it was the feeling of every hair on my body rose, like I was on high alert. And all the sound got weird around me. All the voices got muffled. And our eyes met for a moment. And I just remember hitting my buddy Randy next to me on the thigh and pointing in this guy's direction, the ponytail guy. And I'm like, who's that? And he said, oh, that's John Halley. You should just admire him from a distance, just like my girlfriend is right now. And it was, it was the most dramatic moment I'd ever experienced in my life. And so that weekend, my eyes kept meeting this guy named John Halley across the park. And the park was filled with 250 of us, all in gis, just studying a new form. And eventually we talked, me and John Halley. We talked, and I managed to find words. I drove the van back to Phoenix after the whole festival was done. And I remembered on that long drive, holy shit, that guy was in my dream
Oh, interesting.
about 6 months ago.
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah.
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 One thing led to another, and it ended up being this really beautiful, magical experience.
How many years ago was that?
That was in 1997. So it was a long time ago.
Long time ago. And you
But
still
yeah,
with
I
him.
mean, we're
And he's still pretty spectacular looking, I must say.
he's very, very handsome. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's very handsome.
I remember the first time I saw him and I thought, oh, okay.
Striking, yes.
Very
Yeah.
striking. And
Yep.
and like energetically a presence, like
Oh yeah, he's got a big presence,
yeah, big
but
presence.
reserved. He's reserved.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that was like this experience when we parted ways, John and I, at the park at the end of that whole long martial arts weekend. He said, "Yeah, I'm going to be coming out west and visiting all the schools," because he was a big deal in that school system. He would teach. And he said, "I just want to come visit all the schools and I want to surf down the coast of California. And I'm going to be driving back through Phoenix." And I'm like, "Oh, maybe I can show you around." It just came out of my mouth. I hadn't even said more than 75 words to him all weekend. And he's like, "All right." And so that's July. And the months went by like molasses. And all I could think about was this guy. And I kept thinking about, why am I thinking about this guy so much? I mean, other than he was extremely handsome and extremely talented as a martial artist. I mean, he had a gaggle of women following him around all weekend.
Yeah,
And he was oblivious to it. But anyway, he showed up at our school in November. And that was it.
Interesting.
And it turned out we both had a similar reaction. He was like, "I had to come here to find out, to look into why I had this reaction when I met you back in July."
So what do you think that is?
Well, I knew him. That's the thing that it
knew
felt
him.
familiar. Like I had an instant comfort with this guy that didn't make sense for someone who's really not always comfortable in social situations, especially when I first meet someone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I had a high degree of comfort with him. And there's a familiarity that I can't really describe. So it felt familiar. I dreamed of him before I met him, like 6 months or so before. So it got my attention.
For sure. Yeah.
That's to me a big one. And the whole course of my life changed as a result of him turning around in that park.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it sounds so dramatic when I say it out loud, right? But
Yeah.
that's an example of that. But I've had other ones too that are similar. And it just makes me wonder about this idea of things being fated. Are we supposed to have certain experiences at certain points of our lives in
Yeah.
order to change course or to give us the opportunity to change course?
But are we supposed to have those experiences? Like that's the part I question. Like I don't feel as though anything specific is preordained. Like I I do feel that there is I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. I mean, I've had those experiences too. I had a very similar experience with who became my husband. Looking at him and knowing him like right away. And same for him. He looked across the street at me and felt like, uh-oh, you know.
And he was right.
And he was right. And I was right. And, you know, the rest is history. But and we are not together now, but certainly the things I learned in life, I'm very grateful to that relationship.
Exactly. So so that particular instance that I shared had a happy ending, but not every single one does.
No.
And is that part of the point? Is that we're supposed to, and I'm using the word supposed to, I guess maybe that, or the words, maybe that's strong language. Maybe we're invited to. Because my conclusion, because I've looked into this a little bit shamanically, and whether I perceived it correctly or not is another story, but is that our lives do seem to be beautifully orchestrated in this way, at least at pivotal points that could be big opportunities for evolutionary leaps
Yes,
for our human selves.
exactly.
And it seems to be the case, what we were talking about a couple episodes ago, the higher mind or the higher self is the one who's orchestrating, is the part of us that's orchestrating. So our higher consciousness is. Because there's no time there, perhaps there's a blueprint for the ideal trajectory of the life to meet certain evolutionary goals.
But that would imply that there's no free will.
Not necessarily, because your humanness has choice. You
Right.
can either take yourself up on that opportunity or not.
Well, that,
Like
yeah,
John may not have gone, maybe he would have driven right through Phoenix, right?
yeah.
And I would have just been
Or
pining for him
drowned surfing off the
still
coast.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or he could have drowned. Yep. God
Yeah,
damn.
I
That's
mean, no, I'm
lovely
just saying,
thought,
like,
Sarah.
well, no, but it's true,
I'm just
you
kidding.
know?
Yeah, no, that I was kidding. But yeah, it was so magical and it got my attention in such a way that it was hard to ignore.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah,
really, seriously, pay attention to this.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I think we get those. I like the word invitation. I think there is an aspect of the mystical realms that give us invitations all the time, and sometimes we turn away from them, and sometimes we don't. Excuse me. But the more we're paying attention, the more we're allowing our intuitive self to be just paying attention, I think the more of those experiences we have.
And I wonder if it's like a collaboration too between your human self and your spirit self, your higher mind or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
Where,
yeah, I think.
because if you're really, there's different drives that we have, right? There's a drive from what you would call the ego mind or your ego in general. And then there's the drive from your heart, like a passion that feels, maybe it sounds ridiculous or whatever, but you really want to, this is important to you. Where your ego mind might be doing it because it wants to get fluffed up, or it wants
Yeah,
acknowledgement or recognition
yeah,
or to be famous or wealthy or whatever,
yeah,
status.
yeah.
So it's two different, like we were talking about the three souls concept a couple of times ago too. They each have their own independent goals. And so the ego, the mental soul, it just wants to plan shit out. It just wants to understand and figure things out. So it gets caught in that place. And then the body soul is trying really hard to keep you safe. And then there's the spirit soul, the higher mind, that will go with whatever. Just, but it also might have some wishes for your experience that you prepared ahead of time that you may or may not take yourself up on.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true.
Okay.
And I think so when I said that I think those invitations are there all the time. And it's we who are not necessarily in our higher self or connected to our higher self. Sometimes we get really caught in the swampy ego areas, right? And then we're not paying attention so much to those other realms that are inviting us because we're
It would be
like,
impossible, I would think,
it
because
would
there's
be
because it
impossible.
creates all that noise inside of you,
Yeah,
and you
the
can't even
noise, the
pick up
noise.
that stuff.
Yeah,
Can't
yeah.
hear it or notice it.
Yeah, and that's funny as I age, I'm aging and the world is in this very chaotic place. And I find I'm just so uninterested in it. I'm I really am, like I pay attention and I look at my phone and I do all the things that humans are supposed to be doing and I listen to what is happening, but there's like part of me that's just become completely like, okay, there's that now. And I'm over here doing this instead of being over there doing that. So I think there is a choice that we have of
What do you
where
think that's suggesting? That desire to kind of, I don't know if withdraw is the right word, or
I think I'm more in connection with my higher self.
okay.
I feel like that's it's like a constant interaction that's going on. So, yes, the world is also random, but I'm feeling a desire. And I think, am I going to die soon? Is that what's happening here? Like I feel like I'm moving out of something and into something else in a deeper way as I age. And maybe that's normal. I don't know. Maybe people do.
Well, maybe it's normal for someone who spends a lot of time with one foot in this physical world and another foot in this
Yeah, that's true.
non-ordinary world.
Yeah, yeah. And I think, oh my gosh, I mean, talk about a beautiful unfolding in my life. When I chose to move to Los Angeles, I mean, yes, I had been studying shamanism and very involved for many, many years. But what I didn't realize that moving here, I would have so many clients that I would spend most of my day in an altered state of consciousness. Like what a gift.
So that was not happening in Vermont.
No, I didn't have as many people. I didn't have people who were operating. I mean, people in Los Angeles are they're very creative. There's a lot of interesting people here. And those that would choose to come to me to work with are obviously in certain areas of interest, you
I
know?
gotcha. Okay. So it was kind of like a perfect fit.
Perfect.
So was it because of the culture, or was it because it was you in the place you needed to be?
Both.
Because would every shamanic practitioner who goes out there be having the same experience as you, or is it specific to you?
I think it's specific to me, you know?
Right. Yeah. So to me, that would be part of this beautiful orchestration. I like the idea, whether it's bullshit or not, but I like the idea that there are these touch points in
Yeah.
life. Man, I have this here's a trippy story that just popped into my head. I told somebody about it recently. I don't think I talked about it with you in this venue. So I talked about my Mustang, my
Yeah.
67
Yeah.
Mustang,
Yeah. Yeah.
which I loved
Yes.
all my heart.
Yeah.
So I had moved to Denver, had my Mustang, and I was driving down this road. It's called Spear Road, and there's I can't remember 2 or 3 lanes all going in one direction. There's a waterway, and then there's 2 or 3 lanes the other direction. And there's these little bridges that cross the waterway that connect the 2 lanes and then also can lead you into downtown Denver. I'm driving in my Mustang to work, and up ahead is a red light at one of these bridges that cross over. I'm waiting to turn left at the next light, the next bridge. So up ahead, the light is red. I'm pretty far back. The light turns green. There's a car in my lane, a truck, a pickup, like a small Toyota. See his brake lights on, and I'm getting closer and closer, and I'm going at a pretty decent clip, and the guy didn't move. And so all of a sudden, and Mustangs are not known for, especially the vintage ones, are not known for their great brakes and their great steering. They're not known for either of those things, or their great suspension. None of that is good. I slam on the brakes. Next thing I know, I am in the proper lane on the bridge at that light where the truck was, looking at the red light. I don't know how I got from almost hitting that truck to that lane. I'm missing time. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, because it was not going to be good.
Right. So what do you think happened? What,
It had to be some kind of divine intervention. That's the only thing I could think of because nothing else makes sense. I have no recollection. There were no tire marks from me braking. I didn't hit anybody. I didn't hit the bridge. I don't know how the hell that happened. All I know is that my heart was in my throat and I got 2 hands on the steering wheel and I'm looking at the red light and I'm like, how did I get here?
yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
how did you get there?
I don't know. It was like a time warp. I don't know.
Are there time warps? Yeah.
Well, there's so much we don't understand.
Yeah, there's so much we don't understand.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess that was not my day
Right.
to, uh, for a fatality or a
Yeah.
really bad accident or whatever.
Yeah. 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 You had to live to make this podcast.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's trippy, right? But it makes me wonder if we were more spiritually advanced, would things be random at all? Would
No.
we be able to tap into the magic
Yeah,
like all the time?
I believe so. I do think so. I do. I mean, I could be wrong, but it feels that way, you know?
Yeah.
Because even as we're sitting here doing this podcast, I feel very connected to the magic. Like I can feel the magic listening to us. I feel like those weird balloons that went off before like I feel like that was a pretty weird thing that happened.
Yeah. So balloons, you held up 2 fingers because
Yes.
before we started recording, you
Before
held
we
up two
started
fingers
recording.
because I'm having vision issues.
Yeah.
And you said, how many fingers am I holding up?
Yeah.
And then you held 2 fingers up and then all these balloons,
Yeah.
these animated balloons
Went
just
up.
because of that motion.
And it's
And then
never
you kept,
happened before.
yeah, and you
Ever,
kept
ever,
doing it.
ever.
You kept repeating it, and it was
Yeah,
freaking hilarious.
it's hilarious. And
And so
then
that
it
was
kind of,
magic, a little taste of magic.
I think so. You know, you how do you interpret that? Okay, a glitch in the thing. It never
Yeah.
happened before, it'll never happen again. But that's pretty weird. It's
I
like a
wish we
little,
could have recorded it. That would have been hilarious and a good example of what you're talking about.
yeah, yeah. And you know, even how I fell to shamanism, you know? I mean, I'd been searching for what nourished me my whole life. And then when that fell to me, and it was pretty complicated. It involved like, okay, I have to sign up for a master's degree in art therapy, and I have to take this intro course, and then I have to, but before that, I have to do a whole fine arts degree because I want to do art therapy. Like it involved a lot of
But you
stuff.
didn't know that as you were getting involved in
No,
all these things. You were just following.
I thought I was going to be an art therapist, and I
Yeah,
was following that. And then I read a paragraph in a book, and my brain blows up.
right.
Go,
Exactly.
holy fuck, what's that? And I like jump at off the cliff. And I've never looked back. And it was like, this is what I came here to do. Like I know that, I feel that. Like this weird little strange brain I have that experiences the world in the way that I experience it is perfectly designed for this
Yeah.
avenue, you know? And I don't know, is that
I,
random?
it doesn't seem random to me.
No.
You can certainly look through that lens and justify it as, well, of course it's random. It's just a coincidence.
Yeah. You took a course. So what? Why is that so special? You
But the
know?
thing that's not coincidental is the strong reaction
Yeah. 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 And
because
it's
we
the
don't get those
feeling.
strong reactions with everything. Yeah, and the
No.
feeling that comes up, the hair raising,
Feeling. Yeah, it's like my feeling was the same as your feeling when you looked at John.
yeah, and I've had another. It's
Yeah.
something important is happening.
Yeah.
That's the feeling.
Yeah.
Something important, and the same thing happened when I got connected with shamanism. I was reading Hank's book, and I was doing something very uncharacteristic. I was writing Hank an email. I looked up his website and found a contact page, and was just telling him how much in this email, how much I really enjoyed the book and some cool synchronicities that I noticed. And as I'm writing this email, lovely John, who's in the back of the house, comes into the front of the house where I am and says, "Oh, hey, you need to take the week of your birthday off from work because I am going to treat you to a week of training with Hank Wesselman." And so I'm like, "Hank, guess what? I'm gonna." And then I get to the training, and Hank stands up, takes his glasses off, like within 10 minutes, takes his glasses off to approach the altar in the middle of the room. It's nighttime. There's like 30 people in the room. He's got his aloha shirt on, takes his glasses off, and then I'm like, shit, that's the guy in my dream.
Oh, so
So
you
I
have
had this
dream.
dream. Yeah, I had this dream where I was in a workshop setting and there were two people, a man and a woman. And the man was Hank. I just didn't know what he looked like.
Right.
And the woman looked like Nan Moss
Yeah.
first because I had met her,
Yeah.
like, so my dream mind, but it was
Yeah.
probably
His
Hank's
wife.
wife, Jill.
Yeah.
But yeah, this dream is crazy, right? Hank comes up to me in the dream and he does this Vulcan pinch on my traps.
Uh-huh.
The next thing I know is that he is vomiting into my mouth, and I just know in the dream that I need to swallow it all. I just need to swallow it all. And I
Whoa.
and I knew what he was vomiting was this gray substance with dead bugs in it, like I was a baby bird. And then my whole raven thing kicked in with you know, it became a thing. And yeah, so it's
Yeah.
very, very potent. It was one of those, what I would call a big dream. It really stayed with me. It was like, what the hell was that? And I didn't understand it at the time, but then as my training went on and the Raven stuff kicked in,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then just how Hank helped me make sense of all my visionary experiences that
Hmm.
I'd had prior to, and helped me, yeah, helped me have a really interesting frame for this world, our reality, our experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very powerful. That was another one of those, this is important.
This is important. And those things are they're very energizing. They're very fun. They're
And
like,
they're
whoa.
addicting.
They're yeah.
You want more and more of, I do. I
I
want more and
me
more of
too.
those. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I say I don't really care anymore what's going on there. I want to be connected to the magic. I want to be feeling those feelings. I want to have those dreams. You know,
So, how do we do that and be here at the same time, living in this world that is chaotic and challenging right now? What do you
I
think?
think you have to keep the chatter down. You have to be very selective about what you're connecting with in the chaos, and
You're talking
what,
about not engaging with certain content? Is that what you mean? Or,
yeah, I think not engaging with certain content, the more manipulative stuff that's out there, in terms of
mm,
like da, 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 like bad things are happening all the time. You're gonna die of hantavirus. It's all another
yeah,
like
crisis of the day. Yeah,
crisis of the day. It's theater. It's like, yeah, avoid the theater as much as possible, I think is what
right.
I'm saying. That's my feeling about it.
Yeah.
And
It,
you can know what's going on in the world, but just don't be like just plugged into the theater the whole time. Like plug into the magic, the trees, the
no, it's not very helpful to be plugged into all of this stuff because it just creates more noise, I think,
creates more
internally.
noise and you feel like shit. So what's the point?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Armageddon's coming. It's coming. It's not like I can change that. Or maybe I can, but I haven't thought of that yet. So.
I think we're all kind of collectively dreaming this together, and
Yeah.
it's a reflection of our internal worlds, is my thought, right,
But
of the day.
if I choose to think differently,
Yeah, you can change the course of the dream.
yeah,
Yeah, and yeah, who knows what kind of ripple effect that could have. Like if
exactly.
somebody else thinks that's a good idea, then maybe
Yeah.
more will join in. I
And
don't
if I
know.
choose to be in the world of magic, I am changing something
Mm,
in that, and I am happier for it, generally
yeah.
speaking.
I like what you said about, I think you were kind of insinuating that sort of discipline piece too, the internal part, like your internal world, not just what you're choosing to focus on externally, but what you're choosing to focus on internally. Is that kind of what you were talking about a
Yeah.
little while ago?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's where you'll, I guess, well, that's where you can hear the intuitions. They're not going to be outside of you, except in
Yeah.
these moments where these big
Yeah.
synchronistic things happen to say, sort of shake you.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a I don't know where this came from, some Buddhist exercise or maybe not, maybe something totally different. I don't know. It goes back a long ways, but when you go for a walk, don't use language when referring to what you're experiencing.
Oh, don't narrate it.
Don't narrate it, but feel it instead. I find that a really good way to connect with the magic. Like,
That's a great suggestion.
isn't
Huh.
it? Oh, it's
Yeah.
wonderful. And people who are depressed or struggling with certain kinds of anxiety and that sort of thing, it's really helpful because you're just going like whoop, into like a whole different place in yourself. And if you're not like, oh yeah, there's traffic. Oh, look at that person. That person looks dangerous. Oh, the trees are dying. Oh, you're not like allowing the narrative, but even more so, you're not even allowing that that's a tree. like a tree. You're just like
So it
having,
sort of distances yourself
yeah,
from it. Is that what you mean? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I find that allows the intuition and the magic to be more open to
Mm.
receiving what's coming through.
I wonder if we're getting extremely noisy. I wonder if the volume of the internal noise is so loud to make it so obnoxious that we can't help but want to quiet it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe because that's what's happening to me. It's like,
Yeah. It's
fuck
annoying as
that.
fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my
Exactly.
God.
That's a really good point. Kind of an optimistic perspective, and I like that. And and I think that's, the philosophers and psychologists and who have had the debate about whether it's just random.
Mm.
The answer is always in our own voice, in our own perspective. Like the thing happens, but how do you view it? You know? How do you accept that thing? And I find that really helpful.
Mm.
If you don't necessarily accept it the way the news and everybody is telling you to accept it, you find your own way to accept it, or your own. And do you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
there's choice there. There's a
Choice.
choice
Yeah,
where you point your focus,
yeah,
well, your relationship to the thing,
yeah.
you
The
get to
random
decide.
thing, like,
Yeah.
and some really bad random shit happens. People's children die. Stuff happens that's so horrific. And what are the narratives that you find, or the sensations that you find to deal with those things? It's
Yeah.
tricky. It's really tricky.
Yeah. No, tricky is a word I end up using a lot
Yeah, me too. I
about
use
a lot
it
of
all the time.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
Yeah.
Too.
So I guess I buy into the idea that some things are fated, but whether or not we follow through,
Mm,
our human selves follow through with it or take ourselves up on the invitation is a choice of sorts.
yeah,
Although maybe it doesn't always feel like a choice, the big ones. But then that's different than classic determinism, where
yeah, yeah,
people feel like everything is predetermined,
yeah.
where that the
I know.
school of thought where everything is predetermined and there's like causal predetermination, which is like
Yeah,
the universe is just governed by cause and effect, and it's rooted in classic physics, the Newtonian physics. So that's like there's no randomness at all. Or there's the biological genetic determinism that you're just a victim of your biology and your genetics,
right,
so you can't help it.
right.
So there's no, I guess, responsibility in that world. And yeah, is there any growth? Or there's the psychological unconscious part of us that is dictating. And I do think that that is a part of that there is some truth to that our unconscious is a lot of times steering us in certain directions,
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
our belief systems, our wounds,
Oh, for sure.
that that can be kind of deterministic.
Yeah.
But I guess what we're talking about today is more spiritual determinism. But it's not, maybe determinism isn't the right word, but orchestration. I keep coming back to that word, spiritual orchestration.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Orchestra.
I mean, it would be interesting to do a survey to see how many people feel like they've had those kinds of really magical moments that changed the course of their lives in some way, whether it's meeting someone or being turned on to a new way of thinking or a new way of being in the world.
So why don't you and I conduct our own little surveys? You can ask your people, your clients, your whoever, and I will do it too, and we can report back on that.
Okay, sounds
So
good.
I had experiences when I was doing the 3-year program with the Foundation for Shamanic Studies, experiences within those exercises, journeys that we were doing, where something so big happened that there was no longer any doubt in my mind about the spiritual realms, you know?
Right, exactly.
Like it would be impossible for me to deny what just happened in the realm of magic and spirituality, etc.
So your ego had to take a back seat.
Yeah, my ego was like, "What?
Yeah.
Are
Yeah.
you kidding me?
Not possible.
Not possible."
I
Yeah,
don't understand this.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I love that shit.
Ah,
That when that happens, and that's what keeps someone on a path like this, right? Is you have an experience like that, and it's like, all right, I'm out. I can't.
yeah.
There's no way I could have made that up, or have known that, or
Or
there's just.
felt what was going on in this room. You
Mhm.
know, one of the experiences I had was we were going to be meeting the spirits, and everything was made, the room was completely pitch black. It was covered in black, like pitch black. The candle was blown out, and Nan and David, who are our teachers of the 3-year program, they started drumming really, really, really fast, like crazy, ludicrous speed, fast.
Okay.
So you're sitting in pitch darkness, like nothing, no light, and you're inviting the spirits to show you. And I thought, oh, this is going to be like, I don't, this doesn't happen well for me. Like, I don't ever get these things happening, you know? And the room was filled with motion, just like lights shooting across and things shooting and like touching my hair and knock, like it was like physically interacting with my body. I was like ducking from these fast moving beams of light. It was so incredible. And it
That
went
sounds
on
cool as
and
hell.
on.
Wow.
That was truly the coolest experience I've ever had in terms of the supernatural, you know?
Yeah, that's a good one.
And it went on and just like I was, and so I had to start relaxing with it and just allowing it and not being like thrown off by it, you know? And it was so great. And then we did it another time about 6 weeks later. And I was so excited, like all this stuff was going to happen again, and nothing happened. Like,
For anybody or just you?
for me, I don't remember what
Okay.
happened to other people,
Yeah,
but
sometimes that beginner's mind,
yeah,
you don't have any expectations, so
yeah,
it's like you're wide open and all
you're
kinds
right
of
up.
cool stuff can happen.
Yeah.
But the moment you have an expectation, oh, this is
Oh,
going
here
to
we
be
go. Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
I know what's going to happen.
yeah. Well,
You get
no,
nothing.
you get nothing. And I think it was a great thing because it really showed me that, you know, the nature of the gift is the nature of the gift, and
Yeah.
you can't demand it a second time.
And we can get in our own way.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a lot of lessons in that.
Oh man.
Anyway, that was one of the most,
Yeah, I'm glad you shared that. That's a really cool experience.
yeah,
I've never had anything like that happen.
it was too much. But well, not to be forgotten, you know, like some of your dreams, those things are not to be forgotten. They're
Yeah, they're
very,
so personal and so
yeah,
intimate that
yeah,
maybe someone
yeah,
listening to it might be like, yeah, right,
yeah,
whatever. Or you're embellishing or you're exaggerating.
yeah.
But I mean, it's so intimate. No one can take those experiences away from you.
And
You
I
were
will
there, you
never
knew it,
forget.
and you're changed as a result of it.
It changed
Like,
as a result. I can still remember the feeling of my hair flipping up, you know? I like it's like it happened yesterday and this is 30 years ago.
oh yeah, leaves a mark.
Leaves a mark. Anyway, I don't know if we've answered the questions
Well,
about.
no, I don't know if we're supposed to answer the
No,
questions. I was just kind of curious where your head was at with all of this, with that kind of question.
well, I liked the question because it really made me sit in it, you know? Like, what do I think? Like, you know, there's so many things to evaluate in terms of what do I think. And it was great, just like sitting in the bathtub last night and I started getting deeper and deeper into the thoughts of what I do think. And I thought, oh yeah. I do have opinions on this because I wasn't
Yeah.
sure I did.
This is the shit I love talking about, right? I,
Yeah, me too.
I don't know, but it does leave me wondering how much I'm missing out on because I'm getting in my own way.
Well, yeah, all of us, right?
Yeah, yeah, but I'm speaking for myself. And that's kind of encouraging and a little bit of a challenge to myself. Like, all right, how can I step aside?
So try the mantra to help you step aside. I invite the universe to surprise me in joyful ways. Just like periodically allow that and
All
see what
right,
happens.
I will report back if
Yeah,
I
report
remember
back. Yeah.
because my postmenopausal brain is really not great at remembering things. So
Oh,
now we have two things
yeah.
to remember.
Yeah.
Got it?
And I'll do it too with some level of recommitment to it and just sort of see
Where it
what
goes.
happens. And we'll
Okay.
report back on that too.
All right.
We have two pieces of homework now.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. The first time I came up with the mantra, it was I invite the universe to surprise me. And then I
Yeah,
thought,
you got to
oh,
be careful with that one.
that's dangerous.
I like that you added the word joy.
Joyful ways, not so much.
Actually, now you're reminding me of a slight synchronicity. Like this morning, I woke up from a dream where a hummingbird landed on my nose
Oh,
and was
that's
like right,
great.
yeah, was still for a moment, and it just landed on my nose, and it looked so huge because it was so close to my
Yeah.
eyeballs.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I thought joy, right? The first
That's what they
when
bring.
I woke up from that, I was like, all right, I got visited up close and personal by joy.
Yeah. And I remember in the animal what's it called? The book of
Speaks
Animal Speaks. Yeah.
or animal speak. Yeah.
Yeah, Animal Speak. The hummingbird, if it comes into your life, it's to enjoy the sweetness of life. I remember that.
Well, that's not a bad message
No,
for
enjoy this.
anyone.
I
Yeah.
enjoy the sweetness of life, and I invite the universe to surprise me in joyful ways. I mean, can't be bad,
No,
right?
that seems like a
Pretty good
pretty
duet.
good thing to keep. Like I should keep that on repeat in my brain
Yeah,
parts. Yeah.
yeah. Let's both do it. And
Okay.
then we can tell each other what happened in our lives.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for going down this road with me
Thank you.
today.
Thank you for thinking this one up. I did enjoy it. All right, honey.
All right. I will see you next time.
Yep. Bye.
Mwah. Bye.